Hey, good morning. How you guys? So, um, yes, hi. We're going to chat just a little bit about, um, well, working with others and service and it. I I sat down today a few minutes ago to do this, and I'm thinking, I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, yesterday I was out with a young fella that is, in a treatment center. We went for a drive and got a coffee, and he said, "Tell me about ego. Where does ego start and end?" Good question, you know, and so, I talked to him about thought and to become aware of his thoughts and to watch what's going on, in his thinking, because we're mostly what's going on in our thoughts is about us, and if we're not thinking about us, then there's not much thinking happening in a way. It can settle down, it can be quiet. We can find peace. Only when we're worried or concerned about ourselves or trying to manage the world to suit us are we stressed. Stress is all about trying to get our way. All about trying to get our way. It's crazy. Stress is all fear-based, and when we find that we it doesn't matter, hi Jen, hi love. When we can surrender, like, oh my gosh, I don't have to worry about getting my way. Stress is gone. Stress is gone. And so it's a, epidemic. Stress is an epidemic, and it's really ego. It's selfish and self-centered, and that's the problem. And so his question, of course, is, well, how do I become aware of that? And in our conversation, I said, well, the first step, of course, is that you recognize it doesn't work. For the alcoholic and the addict, uh, uh, the results of living that way are much more devastating than for lots of folks. Um, and in a sense, but it's the same, like, because if we're living in that, we're living separate. There's a hole. There's like, oh my gosh, there's a separateness, and we try to fill that separateness because we're living in selfishness and self-centeredness. We're thinking about me, 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 me. Even if we're doing things for others, sometimes it's all about me, and you know, so um, and we try to fill that hole with stuff, whatever it is, smoking dope or, stuff. And so my suggestion, of course, is that in the 12-step world, if we commit ourselves to helping others, and a lot of times, guys, when a fella says, "Oh, I can't, I don't know enough," he or she is actually, openly saying, I need to have it all figured out, because his ego or her ego wants to control. And um, and the neat thing is that when we're really helping others in faith, risking, then we're in faith. Then we're actually working with a God consciousness, with our intuition, with love, and we're trusting that we don't know, and it's okay not to know. You know, the 12 steps have a basic track to follow, and it's easy to follow that track. You don't need to read the book. It's a text. It's easy to follow that track. But the little not knowing the nuances of it is okay. I mean, lots of times I just sit with a guy and read the book. Because and then stuff will come out of that. What's needed will come out of that. So how do we get out of self when we recognize that self is the problem? And and you'll know if self is the problem. If you're in judgment, if you're in fear of judgment, if you're in complaint, you know, um, if you're thinking about yourself a lot, what about me? Everything in your spheres got you in the middle of it. That's ego. That's selfishness and self-centeredness. That's, we're split off from this power greater than ourselves, this universal intelligence that surrounds us. We've become a dense island in this, and and our density kind of turns our light out. It does, and when we move into a God consciousness, we're like, oh my gosh, our light comes brighter, and brighter and brighter. And it sounds like a metaphor, but I believe it's actually true. We can be more seen in the spiritual world, in you know, and people who are honestly seeking help will come to you. They will come. The phone will ring. And often over the years, I mean, every single day, actually, for years and years and years, my prayer is, "Thy will be done. Thy will be done. Thy will be done. Thy will, not my will." And that turns the light on. That gets me out of the road. Me, the ego me, the fearful me, the selfish me. Right? So freedom. This is the freedom recipe. This is the deal. You know, and we recognize that then, as our light comes on, as we're lifted up, we see that we are part of the whole. We are in the whole. We are the whole, as well as part of the whole. And and there's nothing ever, ever, ever to worry about. Never. Have no fear. And I could say that till the cows come home, and it won't matter till you experience it. And you experience it a lot, by helping others. Just go into that, throw yourself into that. Hi, Kayla. Nice to see you, love. So throw yourself into that, and it's interesting because lots of times the newcomer or anybody will say, well, how? What do I do? Pray about it. Ask to be shown. The universe will lay down for you. I mean that. Ask to be shown. Where should I give back? Ask and be patient. And give in moment to moment as you can with love. Spend time listening to people and being there for them. So that's the deal. You know, be here now, right? And it'll all unfold in front of us. It does unfold. It is unfolding in front of us as we go. Mm. So I guess that's kind of it this morning. You know, life is easy. It really is. So if you're feeling stressed, stress is another word for worry. If you're feeling stressed or worried, know that those are always about you. It's always me, 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 me. What about me? You know, want to get it right. Whatever the thing is that you want is just let go of it. And begin to meditate. You know, meditation, mind will say, "Oh, you don't have time to meditate. Got to keep busy." Just do it. You know, and seek. In Christianity, I think Jesus said, "Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven." That's this moment. They didn't. There was no way to speak of it, and now there is. I listened to a video yesterday with Nassim. Oh, I think I put it on here yesterday. Nassim is a physicist. Oh my gosh, and what a great talk it was. This physicist was speaking about consciousness in science. And um, his last name is Nassim. His last name is spelled Haramein, and he speaks about you know the God energy, the in the universe, and because the thing that many of us have trouble with, if you will, because we were brought up in a religion that said that God was separate from us, so we have trouble with this. Oh, you're kidding, Even though in the religion they said, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, even though in the religion they basically said that, uh, God was everywhere, we, in our mind, conceptualized it as separate. And to such a degree that to even think of it or that as not separate was almost blasphemy. It's protected by this belief system that how can I imagine that God was something that I was, like Bill Wilson said, either God either is or he isn't, either he's everything or he's nothing. And if that is everything, the isness is everything, then we are in that. And to be aware of that, all we have to do is to surrender our concepts of, of life, our idea that we are separate. Just surrender the idea that you are separate, and because we're not separate. And I think that it's hard, because most of us, it's beyond our conception, and it really is in a way beyond, the intellect. So there's a measure of faith that's necessary. Okay, and faith, of course, without works is dead. So the works that I'm talking about is in helping others, to find this. You help enough people, if you help the world, you put this out, help enough people to find this that we're already in, to see the ocean we're swimming in, then you see it. All right, you guys. So we're going to do a little reading today. Today is the 17th of January. My gosh, the year is flying by. And so, yes, let me find it in the little book. We've been reading from this book for a long time. Hope you guys are okay with this. It's the 24-hour day book. And here we go. January 17th. Thought for the day. This book was written in published I think in 54, written in the 40s, and the very early days of the 12-step world, And I was just reading this morning, how much the whole perception in the world has changed around the 12 steps. My gosh, it's only 80 years or so, and it's just, such broad acceptance of that walk, such broad acceptance, because if you really go deep into it, you see that it's so open and so inclusive and so based in love, and you can tell because there's no leader, there's no charismatic leader, there's nobody beating the drum. It's just one person in recovery helping another person in recovery over and over and over again, and so it just carries, the message just carries. It's the message that is pure, and it's not dependent on any one person. It's dependent on the message, and which is going from being self-centered to being God-centered, and it's beautiful. Okay, January 17th. It says here, it doesn't do much good to come to meetings only once in a while and sit around hoping to get something out of the program. It's all right at first, but it won't help us for very long. Sooner or later, we have to get into action. By coming to meetings regularly, by giving a personal witness of our experience with recovery, and by trying to help other alcoholics. Building a new life takes all the energy that we used to spend on drinking. Am I spending at least as much time and effort on the new life that I'm trying to build, that I'm building in the 12-step world? That's the question. Am I spending at least as much time and effort on the new life that I'm building as I did when I was out using and drinking? Wow, could you imagine? Meditation for the day. With God's help, and of course, God's help means we have to kind of ask, the universal intelligence, we have to have intention to be of service. God's help, I'll build a protective screen around myself, which I'll keep out all evil thoughts. Well, the protective screen comes as a result of helping others and doing the steps. And, it's a metaphor, the protective screen, because, there is no self in that sense to protect. We are that. I will fashion it out of my attitude toward God, my attitude towards other people. When one worrying or impatient thought enters my mind, I'll put it out at once. I know that love and trust are the solvents for the worry and frets of life. I'll use them to form a protective screen around me. When one worrying or impatient thought enters my mind, I'll put them out at once. I know that love and trust and faith and service are the solvents for the worry and frets of life. I will use them to form a protective screen around myself. So yes, love and trust. Prayer for the day. I pray that frets and impatience and worry may not corrode my protective screen against all evil thoughts. I pray that I may banish all these from my life. Interesting wording, eh? From the 40s and 50s. So that's the reading for today. It's my little chat today around service. And because if you're in that place ever where you're saying, well, so how do I shed myself of these selfish and self-centered thoughts? If they're driving you crazy. I mean, we all know. And when you get it, it's like, oh my gosh, we see how visible we must have been, you know, trying to get our way. And actually, then what happens is sometimes we hibernate, we hide, we think, well, I'm, or we get down on ourselves, or we shame ourselves. Don't shame. It's, we all going through this. We're all busting out of the same behavioral habits, the same, reactions that we had, So you're not alone. You're not alone. It's a journey that seems that we all have to take to get to the light, to be the light, to become aware of the light. So, there's many waiting for you to blossom and come back for them, come back for them. And you can do that, right? I love that analogy, but it's the truth. As we move forward, we reach back and pull others up with us. Okay. Okay, so we're going to meditate for a little bit. Would you like to join us in that little meditation? And there's a reason that I do this, that I have a short meditation with you every morning, and it's to drop into that space, to become aware of who we are beyond the persona, beyond who we thought we were. So just take a breath, just drop in. And one of the first things that we begin to realize that we're not is we're not our body, because it becomes easy to be the observer of our body, to see our body as separate. And we're like, oh, look at that. My body has an ache in the lower back. I'm not that ache. The ache comes and goes, gets more intense or gets less than, maybe it goes away. So it's not us. It's something we're actually watching, and we wake up in the morning and we stretch the body and we know it's not us. It's a beautiful vessel. And so it's really quite a realization that, oh, I'm not my body. And then the next realization that we get as we drop into meditation and into life is that I'm not my thoughts. We begin to watch our thoughts as they come and go. And sometimes we start to wonder, where are they coming from? It doesn't matter. They're like clouds in the sky. And the less attention we pay to them, the less power they have. They only have the power that we give them. And it's kind of a bit of a muck in there that sometimes, we're like, well, how do I stop giving them power? Well, becoming aware that your thoughts are not you is the beginning. Self-awareness. I'm not my body. I'm not my thoughts. Then we can drop in even deeper and let go of our story. We're not our story. The story we've made up about ourselves that we tell others, the inner story that we don't tell others, that, the things we've hidden that we wouldn't want anybody to know. We're just not any of that. We're not any of that. We let that go. Even to the sense of the accepted story that you're a man or a woman, we let that go. Or a son or a daughter or a father or a mother. Just let it go for a few minutes. Everything will be fine. You can come back and pick it up. Or that you're a doctor or a carpenter or an entrepreneur. Whatever these things that we held in place by pride. We've said, I'm proud of my accomplishments. I'm a biker, or I'm a social worker. And just let it all go. Let it all go. It's all keeps us in the Maya, keeps us in the illusion. For a minute, we'll just let it go and be here now. In the breath. In the breath. In the moment. I want to surrender the future as well. There is nothing next. There's no tomorrow. There's just now. No yesterday. No time. Just be in this moment now. Everything that is, was, or ever will be is now. So just come back when you're ready. That's so sweet. Yeah. Just want to share with you that I've started doing some interviews again, and I did a couple last week, one with Eric Mortimer, one with my friend Simon, who teaches meditation. They're great little interviews. They're on YouTube, and they're also here on Facebook Live if you want to look back there. But love it if you go to the YouTube channel and have a look at those interviews. They're there. And I have one tomorrow with Alice, Alice Hung. Alice is in Europe somewhere, and yeah, would be tomorrow at noon with Alice, and I'll do my morning thing like this, and then shortly after we'll do it'll be live on Facebook and YouTube. Okay, so join us for that, and I've got quite a list actually of people that have said yes, they'd love to do it. So Adrian and Sarah and Cody and Amy and Malcolm and Nate and James, and there's quite a list growing of yeses. So I'm looking forward to that. Gonna do a bunch of them over the next little while. Okay, love you guys, and if you can think of anybody that you think you'd like me to interview, let me know. Or if you'd like to come on, and I'm just, the whole idea is just to check in and let people know how everybody's doing. And a lot of the folks are people I've interviewed before, but I'm open to interviewing you, and just to see how you're doing, and let's talk to the world. Okay, love you guys. We'll talk soon. Bye.